Oof. Good morning, Devils fans. Yeah, gonna jump right into it. Jack Hughes fell down. I did watch the replay a bunch of times. He was not tripped by Bennington or the defender. Caught an edge on his skate and went really hard into the boards. He did end up playing one more additional shift. Took a bit of a bump of a hit on the power play. Skated back down to our end of the ice. Got off on the line change, and we did not see him again for the rest of the game. So it is about 10:30 in the morning the day after. And as of this point, there's not too much else to update on for the situation. The Devils have complete day off today, no media availability. So we will not have an update till the earliest at tomorrow. A few things that have come through the Twitterverse. One from Elliot Friedman that Jack probably is going to need a couple days to see how serious or not serious this injury is or isn't. Does that bode well? We'll see. Obviously, that probably assumes he is not going to be playing in Chicago. And so, it's not the best of news, but also doesn't mean it's the worst of news. Some other bit that came out, if you want to believe some somewhat reliable Devils fans on Twitter, there was news that Jack did get on the plane last night. He did fly to Chicago with the team. That's not too surprising. I know some people are speculating he either doesn't have a concussion or it can't be too bad if he is flying. Now on short flights, from what little bit of Googling I could do, short flights aren't too bad for concussions. If anything, they might even be able to help diagnose how bad of a concussion it is. So, I'm sure the medical staff cleared him for the flight, concussion or otherwise, and so that's why he was on it. I would not dig too much into that one. If we're going to do a little bit of armchair doctoring here, he went into the boards, right with arm kind of braced it a little bit, hit his shoulder, basically snapped his head into it as well. When he went down, he didn't go for a shoulder grab. He instantly just hunched over, weight on his elbows, touching his head. And then, again, he came out for the next shift. He was hunched over, weight putting on his legs with his arms. None of that, to me, really indicates a shoulder or collarbone type injury. Doesn't necessarily rule it out either. Adrenaline's a hell of a drug. So who knows, exactly what kind of, adrenaline was pumping through his body, what pain he was or wasn't feeling. But the fact that he instantly grabbed his head, seemed to try and shake it off, came out, got bumped a bit, and then we really didn't see him again. Possibly does indicate concussion type symptoms. And that's really where I'm going to leave it. Yeah, not great, obviously. Not just, for the selfish reason of wanting, not just our best player, but the best player in the NHL to not miss any time, be able to play our games. He's the most integral piece to our entire team. Everything flows through Jack. And so obviously we are going to miss him for a half a game, a full game, or however many it ends up being. But hopefully it is nothing long term. Even if he was out a week or two, it is something we can survive even without Jack and Nico. This roster is flush with talent. We even saw it in this game. If I want to kind of somewhat transition to that at this point, where some of the other big names did step up a bit. I mean, this was a game that we very easily could have won. Yes, the final score was 4-1, 2 empty net goals, though. It really was a 2-1 game, where Timo really stepped it up. If not for an amazing save by Binnington, another sliding block on another shot he had, and then Toffoli somehow just roofing it over the bar. This could have been a tied game in the third period. For a full recap, I thought we came out really strong. Overall, the metrics on the whole for the game were really good. The team drive play for the most part. I think it was a fairly tempered first period with back and forth. Akira Schmid had a really solid outing. Neither of the goals he gave up were weak by any means. I mean, we had a partial breakaway type goal, and then the absolute flub of a defensive failure in front. Now, I know Smith and Siegs got basically benched for almost at minimum the half period, and then even a little bit into the third after that. I personally actually think that was a bit more on either Timo or Mercer. It's hard to say exactly who, without knowing the exact defensive assignments for the end zone coverage system that we're playing. But even on the first goal as well, I kind of think Mercer was not hard enough coming back. And then on the second goal, I don't think he was in the right position for gathering, the rebound where the Blues player was able to pick up the loose puck, take the shot, got the rebound, and then Hayes knots it in for the goal. To me, it was really just more so the forwards not being back and playing hard enough back to cover that middle part of the ice for the team. And it was Mercer not coming back hard enough on that basically broken defensive play on the first goal. But again, I don't know the full system responsibility for the forwards coming back in the D zone, so I don't want to harp on that too much. But I'm instead going to focus on the positives here because obviously this is a game that you can really dig yourself down deep on. But it was good. Again, it was a fairly tempered back and forth first period. Blues had their chances. Schmidt came up huge. We had our chances. Bennington was fantastic. Again, he started the year insanely red hot. Past 3 games was not very good, and he was really good again in this one. Second period comes in. They do score the first 2 goals. It did seem like, and we heard it from Lazar, and Ruff admitted it as well, the team was deflated after the Jack injury and him leaving. And you could tell the team was just on the back heel, and the Blues were really putting it to us. But basically from the first shift after the Blues' second goal, so if you want to say from the 11-minute mark in the first to about the 10-minute mark in the second, essentially a 20-minute stretch of play the Blues controlled, but they didn't dominate, but they definitely had the edge of play on the ice. Really from the first shift after that second goal where Bratt came in with the beautiful move and just barely misses, tucking it behind Bennington, we took control of the ice. We had shift after shift from there. Palat has a partial breakaway where Bennington makes another net front save on him. And again, we followed that up with more good shifts from every line was rolling out there to finally get the greasy goal there from Lazar. He's been playing fantastic all season long. Definitely deserved it. Finally, again, he's not a huge goal scorer. He's going to be a fourth line guy. Don't expect huge numbers, but he definitely drives play in the right direction. And I'm glad he finally did get rewarded for this one. He did say it again in the post-game interview. He would give the goal back if it meant getting the W. He's just, one of those type of guys. But, for him personally, it did feel good to actually finally get that goal. And from there, I really feel like we controlled play from that moment on through basically until the pulled goalie and the empty nets. Because, Timo looked fantastic. I mean, you could tell really it was Timo and Luke, I think, really put the weight on their backs. Timo driving play. Finally, actually, I think this was probably his best game from that perspective. Yeah, when he's on the line with Jack, everything drives through Jack. I've mentioned this before. Now, without Jack on the line, Timo really did step up. I mean, he had multiple transition plays going neutral zone into the offensive zone, wheeling around, getting multiple shots on net, setting up other plays. Luke really stepped it up. He looked fantastic. Again, same stuff. I mean, his ice time skyrocketed. He was also basically one man controlling. He had the one shift where you could just tell from the moment he touched the puck in the defensive zone, he one-man transitioned all the way through the neutral into the offensive zone and got a really good shot off that almost went in and was even there for a tap-in if we had a guy at the corner. So don't get too down on this. Yes, Jack may miss a game, maybe 2, hopefully not more, but it's possible. Nico is still at minimum another couple games out. Yeah, we're down our 2 top centers, the backbone of this team, the cornerstones of this organization right now, but we've built a lot of talent around them. Mikey has really stepped up. That Bratt, Mikey Palat line never took a shift off that entire game. They absolutely controlled, even when Jack was on the team, when Jack was on the ice versus when Jack was not. That line has been looking fantastic, so I don't expect them to take a step back at all here. That top line with Mercer offensively actually looked fairly strong. I think Mercer actually did step up a bit. Kind of, started off the video with my defensive woes from Mercer in this one, but on the whole, offensively, he definitely looked a lot more involved and engaged in this one with Timo, really being the play driver there. And I think that's what Mercer needs, is a true play driver to play with. And I think he was just adjusting to life back at center on the defensive responsibilities, kind of getting more used to the wing aspect of it. So we'll see how that continues to grow and how many games we are going to require him to be there. And, I guess we'll see who ends up getting called up, who gets the shifts in, and how that's going to work out. Maybe Smith slides back up to forward. We bring in Foot to play defense. If we can't, I guess we'll find out tomorrow. I'm not going to speculate too much on that one here just yet. But I did want to shout out the boys for not just taking the night off and really, really pushing play and trying to get this game tied back up. And again, if not for some amazing plays by Bennington, some defensive amazing plays by the Blues, and to Foley just missing on an amazing setup from Luke, I don't even know how Bennington got over as quick as he did. That was one of those most surefire setups where it's a broken play, tons of bodies in front. I don't even know how Bennington had eyes on it. The pass over to Foley, He should have had the empty net basic goal, but Bennington made it closer than it really should have been, possibly causing Toffoli to change the angle and roofing it over. Otherwise, that's a tie game. Um, really going to look, for him and Timo to hopefully take over in the next one, help carry Mercer along more fully, and yeah, Schmid played good. The defense was good. It was all right. Siegs and Smith got sat for the somewhat lazy playing in front of the net. I definitely am not taking everything away from them by putting some weight on Mercer on that one. They could have played it better. Just be more active with the stick. Tie up the other guy's stick a bit better from Smith on Hayes there. Hopefully that kind of jump starts them a little bit. And the team is like, hey, we're not going to get carried by Jack here for a few. Because that's what it's been, is the Jack show with Bratt, right? So a lot of weight now goes to Bratt to hopefully take over and be that best player in the NHL caliber that he has shown he possibly can be this year. And Toffoli, Timo, Luke, Holla, Holtz has been playing really great. He got a bump up in ice time huge after Jack went out. So hopefully he continues to take advantage of the situation that is now present to him and make the most of it. Holtz, this is going to be your time to shine a bit, and hopefully he can cement himself as a top 9 guy at least. Show Lindy he can do it, because I thought he had some really good off the puck and defensive type plays in this one, and really looking forward to see how he continues to develop in this now elevated role he'll find himself in, and likely at least for one game. Fingers crossed it's not even one game. Hopefully Jack's back, but trying to be somewhat realistic on this one, at least with the Elliot Friedman post saying, this is probably going to be a couple days to see exactly where he's at. They're not going to risk on a Chicago game him possibly, feeling better and then taking one awkward hit or fall, because, Jack does fall a lot. He does get mushed into the boards a lot. That's his game. So you got to be very extra careful and be sure on these type of things. They probably want to at least get one practice in with him, let him get bumped a bit, not super hard, friendly bumps to see where he's at. And we'll kind of have to go from there. Yeah. Oh boy, what a bummer, guys. Right? Jack, Nico out. Not too much else to report on either of them. Hopefully, some good updates come tomorrow. Not trying to speculate too much, but hey, stay optimistic. We're not going to drown without Jack. We have a really strong team, and I think we showed that there at the end of that game, that we can still drive offense and set up a lot of good plays, and it's just actually about getting that puck in the back of the net. We still have Bratt, who has done it without Jack, and Timo showed last night that he can step up and help play drive another line without Bratt on it either, and Toffoli still was looking good, even if he missed the net. That's hockey, right? I mean, it happens. So don't get too down on this one. Do and try and enjoy the weekend. Make it through today. We'll get tomorrow and get the updates, and then we'll go from there, guys. Last thing, away from the Devils stuff. If you can't tell, I got both my hands free here. A bit of a new setup. The wife got me a nice ring stand holding the phone. So let me know what you think about the video quality. Do I need to change the light fixture, the settings? Could kind of do a bit of a show here where it is kind of like that, and this is kind of the setting I was doing. I could even kind of bring down the brightness a bit on these, get a bit more natural light. That's changing. That didn't really do much of anything at all. But distance, I could do a standing one. I'm sitting currently, yada, 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 voice quality, all that stuff. Any little feedback, I might do slight adjustments on every video just to see what you guys think of the lighting, sound differences, all that stuff, whatever. Again, I'm just doing this stuff on the fly. I do these things in one take, no edits. Just trying to get this content out for you guys, have someone to listen to, and let you know, hey, we're all in this together, Devils fans. Don't get too down. We have plenty of talent to make it in Bowie till we get at least one, if not both of our cornerstones back. Biggest thing is no long term, right? I'll take a week or even two of Jack just recovering to be sure and come back full flight. Yeah, that's going to put a real stinker on his 100-plus point Art Ross heart-winning season, but it's more so about the long term here for Jack and this team. So I will see you all tomorrow morning. I will see if I'm going to just put out an early video or hopefully try and wait for some sort of update from practice before I do it, or might just do the preview of the Chicago game just to get it out there, and we'll see. We'll see come game time, because my assumption is they're going to give him at least the one game off, right? So yeah, tomorrow morning, guys, I will see you as always and forever. Let's go Devils.